Hey, everybody. It's Tami here, and it's Jess. And we today are super pumped because we work together. She is actually, a lot of people here have, if they're following me, they know Emmanuel. This is Jess, Emmanuel's wife, and he did a healing on me that really changed me. It was a very big, it was a pivotal point in my life for healing from my Lyme. And it was the emotional side of it. And he told me about Jess, and he just said how similar we were, and that she used this device called the AO scan. And I love frequencies. Everybody knows that. I use frequencies for everything, right? The tarot wand, I frequency this, I use a brain tap. I'm all about it. It's a huge thing that we can use now in today's day and age to heal, and it's amazing. So I connected with her. I got on the phone. She did a session with me over the phone, and I immediately felt it. She was sending me frequencies, and I felt different. And it's so hard to explain emotionally and mentally what it did. And for those of you that don't know me, I was in a toxic, abusive relationship for 20 years. I have suffered with anxiety for most of my life. I have a lot of trauma when I was young, including a brother and sister that died as teenagers. So there was a lot of heavy stuff that I've been through. And I haven't had anxiety in years. And this is a huge part of it. And so she knows way more about this than I do. And we were like, let's get on, let's chat. So I want to ask her some questions because I just want us all to learn about this because it's life-changing. So Jess, you tell us, well, first, I'd like to know this. So how did you even get started in this? Like, what interested you in it?
Yeah, so at the beginning, so this was back in 2021, I had a newborn baby. He had severe colic, and we were trying all the things that we could think of to try and help him just to feel better. He was just miserable. I was exhausted and
Yeah.
miserable. And so something popped up on my news feed that one of our friends had been trying these frequencies, and she was able to remove all of her vertigo and headaches that she had suffered with for years. And at the time, I hadn't really heard a whole lot about frequencies, but I was like, what is this? We hadn't tried that. I was willing to try anything to try and help our baby feel a little bit better. And so I was like, let's try this out. And so we did it on our newborn baby. We had a scan done on him. And that night, he was a different baby from then on. And I couldn't believe it. It was like, holy cow. Like, I don't even know what this thing is, but I want one. I need one. And I am like you, Tami. I had severe anxiety. I had like CPTSD, trauma
Mm.
also from a previous relationship. And so I was like, can this help me with all of my symptoms? And the person working on me was like, yeah, it's helped a lot of people with similar symptoms. And so I was like, sign me up. Let's get going on this. And it has helped me so much with gaining confidence and with helping my anxiety and my triggers and all that kind of thing are like non-existent anymore. So I'm so grateful for this technology.
I love that you mentioned confidence too, because I don't know if I've ever articulated that before,
Yeah.
but my confidence is a completely different thing than what it used to be. And I always tell people, it sounds like so silly to say, but I'm like, my brain works so well. And I know it's the frequencies. It's from doing this consistently. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to have a brain that works because there's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of brain fog and they're like, I cannot think. I cannot do what I want to do. And I just like, I want them so badly to feel this clarity in your brain because when you actually can think clearly and get things done, it feels really good, right?
Right, absolutely. And something to go off of what you were saying too, is being in relationships like that, it's crazy how much brain damage we actually go through. And it messes us up for years and years. And so even though you're not in that relationship anymore, it's crazy how you're still healing and trying to overcome so many things. So this technology has helped me I'm not even the same person. It's like night and day difference. If you knew me 2 years ago, you would not believe the things that I'm able to do now. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. I feel like when I look back on who I was, like it actually makes me really sad for that girl.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that poor woman, like she was so broken, and I just can't even believe it. Like it's insane. So let's talk about what's one of your favorite. This device does so many things that we could talk about it for hours, but let's just break it down a little bit. What's your favorite scan out of, or one of your favorites, I should say?
Okay, I know there's so many pieces to it, but I have to say one of my favorite scans is what's called the inner voice scan. So
I love
this is it uses biofeedback technology, and this is the best one to help balance out your emotions, keeping them at homeostasis.
Yes, yes, it is huge. And can you tell me, we have to explain how it works, because when I try to explain this and I'm like, how do you explain? I want to know how you explain it. How do you explain the inner voice? How does it work?
Okay, so how it works is it goes off of just a 10-second audio recording of either you or your friend or your client. And what it's doing is it's analyzing your voice and it over 8,000 frequencies. So within that 10-second clip, it actually is scanning over 8,000 frequencies.
Wow.
And then how it works is it's coming up with customized, 100% customized to you, um, beautiful frequency sound harmonics to help balance out your emotions and physical areas of your body. So then you would just listen to these balancing frequency sounds from anywhere from 3 minutes to 12 minutes, however long you have. But if you don't have very long time, then just listen to the 3-minute option. And it's going to help, like I said, your emotions, and it's going to help the physical areas of your body just from listening to those specific frequencies to help keep your body regulated at optimal state.
I remember the very first time like that I listened to them. I remember exactly where I was standing because it was life changing. You know, when you have those moments where you're like, wow, this is, and I remember my whole, I was agitated that morning. And then I listened. Any moms here out there ever feel like that? You're just sometimes your kids, just everybody needs a piece of you, and you're just, I just want a little of me time, but there's none of that when your kids are smaller. And it completely changed. I could not believe, like when we're talking about triggers, I wasn't triggered. I was able to maintain my composure and not be annoyed, like really annoyed. And that sounds terrible. I hate saying that because I love my children. But you know, when you're overtired and you're overstressed and you're being pulled in all these
Yeah.
directions, sometimes it takes a lot of strength to just be like, and I didn't need that strength. My first response was kindness. I didn't have to go like my talk to myself inside my head, settle down, answer like this. It just came. And that was such a great feeling to have that self control. That's really what it was.
That's awesome.
That's, yeah, amazing. And you can do these frequencies from, is it the same technology as a lie detector test? Because that's what I remember reading or hearing about. Is that
Yes,
true? Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. So it is similar technology in here that is create in when they created the like a lie detector. So what it does is it is getting a baseline of where you're at. So the accuracy is really, really high. It's really that part of it. I was blown away when I heard that too. I was like, what?
Well, I know we're talking about inner voice, but I know there's a part in there too where it can tell you your emotions, like what you're feeling, and then it treats you. It's kind of the same idea. And I cannot believe how accurate it is, how dead on it is every single time. So
Yeah.
the accuracy of this is, and I'm pretty in tune with my emotions. I would say I'm pretty in tune with it. So I know what I'm feeling, but I'll test it and see. And it's just, it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
So if
there
you
was, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's one other thing too, I think I forgot to mention is you'll get 4 reports of your emotions that are going to be the most out of range versus the most suppressed one as well. So your 3 biggest ones that are you're overusing all the time, you're experiencing those ones the most. And then I like that it also is covering the biggest one that you have been suppressing for maybe years and years and years. And so then that those reports are what are going to show different areas of your body. But it also does like a little mini vital scan, which means it's looking for things in your body that may be out of balance. And so this is going to show maybe you have parasites, mold, bacteria, viruses, maybe your vitamin levels are too high or too low. And so that's all going to come with just this one scan, that the
One of
interval
my
scan.
favorite things about this technology is it links the two, right? The emotion with the physical, and we need that because they're connected, right? Because anything emotional, like we were talking earlier, our traumas, they resonate in the body, and then it turns into a physical ailment. And
Right.
when we have to get, I think our society is finally ready to start really healing emotionally. And here's the thing I always tell people, especially men, when I'm working with men, they're not always the most into their feelings and stuff like that, and that's okay. There is talk therapy, which I believe is important, but I think sometimes in our society we overdo talk therapy. Like, I've been to so many counselors, like I cannot tell you how many times I've told my story and I was getting sick of hearing it, and I was like, why am I still not healed? And that's why when I did that session manual and I did those sessions with you, I was like, this is the next step. I was to the point where I needed traumas removed from my body, and I needed to change the frequencies. I was past that. Like, I was past the talking. And I know sometimes when you keep telling the story again and again and again, like, our words have power, we're
Yeah.
re-traumatizing instead of going, hey, now we've talked it out. That's done. Now we need to release it and let it go so we can move forward.
Yeah, that is so true. And I was in that same boat. I was going to also therapists and things like that for mine. And it's weird how sometimes you go leaving worse, because then it's like bringing back up all those emotions.
Yeah.
I wish back then I had this device and technology to be able to, while I'm in the car, to listen to my frequencies, to rebalance me out, because when you're listening to those frequencies, you actually are removing trauma and emotions that are coming up. So the emotions, and there's like a section that will show your sub emotions that are tied to that big emotion, and it's removing all of it. So it's
Incredible.
beautiful. Yeah.
It is incredible. Okay, so let's share. I know that you had, like, let's share some testimonies. Like, we both of us do this on people, and there's some crazy, crazy testimonies. What are some of your favorite ones that you know of on your?
Yeah, so it's been so fun. We work on so many people, and I love hearing the feedback from everybody. Um, we've been able to see a lot of moms be more present with their kids, have more empathy, they're more patient. I've seen dads be way less reactive, and they're able to be more calm with their emotions. I've seen a lot of clients have more energy, more focus, especially ADD, ADHD type
Yes,
symptoms, or
that's
like,
a huge one.
yeah, night.
Every mom with kids with if you have a kid with that or an adult, do it. Do it. Take it. You need to take it, not take it, but do it. You need to do
Yes.
it. I've worked on many children like that too.
Yeah, and the kids actually love it. So we have 4 boys, and our youngest is a little bit too young to ask for it, but he always loves it whenever we are doing these sessions with him. But our other older 3, they are always asking and fighting over, like, who gets to do it next and who gets to listen to their balancing harmonics, and they always feel so amazing after they've
Well, you know
listened to
what? Is it okay? So I've had people asking me, "Was this hard to use it?" I'm like, "Kids can use it.
it.
Kids can actually get on here. Believe me, they're better at it than us. They press their app. They know what to do. Do
Yeah.
your little your inner scan every morning."
Yeah, when my kid was 7, he was running it, like, sessions on me or him. If I said, like, I'm like, if I had a stomach ache from, like, we ate something, I'm like, "Oh, I've got kind of a stomach ache." He would go and do the scan on me and be like, "Mom, don't eat cheese today. Cheese is
Oh
upsetting." Like,
my
like,
god!
he knew how to read it, and, like, it's so simple, it's so easy to use, so it's so cool. But, going back to the testimonials, though, I think I've even seen kids with autism, like, benefit heavily from this. And even if your child doesn't like wearing, because how you listen to it is best with, like, headphones, but you can even put it on speaker for kids or babies, or if somebody doesn't like wearing headphones on their head, just put it out loud on speaker, and it's still going to help them a ton. So we've seen that. We've seen it help with headaches. I mentioned the confidence within myself I've seen, it's just like night and day difference. One other thing that was super cool was I've seen someone who had hundreds of seizures a day. I mean, this was hundreds of seizures a day. Just from listening to her inner voice scan, she does not have them anymore unless she's exposed to mold or extreme stress. That when I heard that one, I have chills right now. I was like, that's what this is all about, is just life-changing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it is life changing. It really is. And stress, yeah, stress is a killer. Like when it comes to health, right? And this can balance that out so much because I know for me, even like I scan myself quite often, I struggled. I had Lyme and lots of co-infections. I did have a lot of big issues, physical issues, and one thing I noticed is if my stress levels are up and I'm checking, my numbers will always be affected. And
Yeah.
so anyone that knows if they've had Lyme, that's something you do have to check for the rest of your life probably. But you know what? It never ever gets to a point where I even have a symptom because I can check on my scanner every single day so I know exactly what my body needs that day. And I'm like, oh, my stress levels are going up. I need to sit down. I need to listen to this. I need to chill. Like it's that check because life gets busy, and I think all of us are busy running around, and we really have to watch that. And stress is it is a killer, and this really really helps for that for sure. Okay, well, is there anything else you want to add about this amazing inner voice scan or anything?
Okay, one more thing I'm gonna add is we had a test group that we
Mm,
tested to see, we
telling me about
wanted yeah, we wanted to check and see, kind of like the numbers of what can this help with so many different things. And so we ran it for depression, for physical pain, anxiety, and sleep. And the numbers that were mind blowing that they reported back to us. So for depression, it was lowered over 70%. The physical pain went down over 55%.
what? I'm writing these down.
Anxiety also went down 70%, and their sleep patterns improved over 50%. So,
Okay, that's insane.
I know.
Those numbers are insane.
Yeah,
People listening, are you understanding this? This is everything that people come to me to complain about.
right? I know. There isn't honestly, there's not one symptom that somebody has come to us for that I haven't seen them have relief from. So, it's it's amazing.
Well, I was an insomniac as well, probably because of all my trauma until I was in my 40s. I never slept more than a few hours a night, like my whole life.
Yeah,
And most people start having trouble when they get older. I'm sleeping better than I've ever slept. There's so many, like, and even the pain, like, so many people have pain. So many people live with
right.
pain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, I can't even imagine because when we live in pain, we're grumpy. This is incredible. Those numbers are insane. We have to post those below so people can see them. I love it. I love it. So anyway, I hope you guys learned a little bit. If you guys have more questions, DM one of us. And yeah, I don't know. That's it.
Thanks,
That's
guys.
all. Bye.
Bye.